talked about winning championships. They're a champion. They've won the biggest championship, and that's a championship of life.
The Life Championship Top 10 is a smacking of the podcast presentation. Welcome back to another installment of the Life Championship Top 10. Please stand by as we tell you our voter ballots for this week.
Clemson's performance against Duke easily, especially going in and again, you know, Doug, you can you can refer people to wherever the rules for our life championship are, because this is a very unique poll to us.
We're in the early stages right now. There's not a lot of rules that apply for people who've never paid attention to the life championship top 10 poll. We're not looking for the best team in the country. And we're not looking for the worst teams in the country. We're looking for the teams with the most potential that are going to end up fucking blowing it.
Yep.
And that's the name of the game for the Live Championship Top 10. All right. So the original Top 10 did not have this team in it. But after the shakeup, after three people come back in and redid their ballots, we've got the Tennessee Vols coming in at number 10. And I'm very happy about that. I was ecstatic when I reformulated and seen that Tennessee, who was right outside the top 10 on the first poll, actually made it in on the new revised poll.
Basically a lethargic half against a supremely inferior team. They were still able to pull away quite comfortably in the end.
Oh, they look good, but it's just nice to see Tennessee where the Life Championship was birthed.
And again, there are providing game film for other teams. Maybe that's erroneous game film that a lot of people will be focusing on as far as that lethargic half, 14 points, I believe. And could be a fake show. Let's just go out here and just kind of, go through the motions and not really, and no sparkle, no pizzazz.
Number 9.
My hope, of course, will be that, Auburn does eventually work their way back onto this list, that Auburn fans start believing that Auburn's going to make it happen. Hugh Freeze is not going to blow games or get blown.
Just for Kenneth Ingram.
Well, just keep your fingers crossed, because we're only at number 9, and number 9 is the Michigan Wolverines. They've made our first week 1 top 10 here.
And I think a lot of the votes in this week 1 are going to be predictions of, again, Michigan is another team that is supposedly in the playoff hunt, returning a lot of good talent. Jim Harbaugh is still coach there, I guess.
Now here's something. Here's a little side note. I have went ahead and looked at Alex Ryan's ballot, and he did not have Michigan in the top 10, so he is not responsible for Michigan making the top 10 on this unified list.
Well, I think that Alex Bryant probably didn't want to waste his vote. I mean, we already knew where he was going to go with it. He knew the voters were going to come in and support him quietly and telepathically. He didn't even have to call. Did he have to call you to put Michigan on your ballot, Dr. Balls?
Oh, no. Yeah. No, not at all. It come right to me. It was, like you said, it was like an epiphany.
Now here's one. Here's one for you.
When it comes to live championship poll, that's for damn sure.
Here's one for you, Shannon. How did you know that Dr. Balls had Michigan in the top 10?
Man, we got that.
Oh shit!
We got that.
You broke it in, haven't you?
Sort of.
You already know the shit, like.
No one I know about the internet.
All right, number 8, the Auburn Tigers.
Woo. It's all part of our rock and roll fantasy.
I'm going to bring up Kenneth Ingram real quick. Kenneth Ingram, I want you to pay close attention to this because Auburn usually does extremely well and is a previous life championship winner.
Yes.
That's right.
Such great heights.
Number 7, the TCU Horny Toads.
Woo! Man,
Imagine them making the list.
I don't know. That's I don't know because again, I don't know who Colorado is yet. All I
True.
saw was a shootout, but again, I saw a shootout against what I thought was coming into the game was a pretty good defense with TCU.
TCU could be a bad team. They could be out of eligibility for the live championship.
I mean, for them to be a bad team though, and you know, if let's say Sanders goes out and throws for an absolute just record amount, what is the NCAA record? Division I quarterback total yards.
They had like 5,500.
Was that a Houston quarterback or a BYU quarterback?
Tim Couch.
Oh,
Wildcats. Excuse me. Back that up, please.
I mean, I know that one time he had like a 5,200 yard season, and then
I was going to bet McNair. I thought Steve
Klingler or Ware that went for 5,200 too. I think.
Yeah.
But I think 6,000 is possible. If you pass for 5,000 500 a game, 6,000 is possible. He may be.
Again, you're, and I'll have to pull Colorado's schedule back up. But of course, their schedule looks much more favorable now that they handled themselves against TCU. Because I'm sorry, man. And again, Colorado was playing in the heat. That game was burning ass hot, over 100 degrees on the field.
Damn.
And that's Colorado's up there, and you know it's nice and temperate, and you know gets a little chilly and snowy in the winter. You know it's nice and cool up there, and they play like that in the heat. Oh my God, they might actually be for real.
We got to have teams in our top 10, and I know you got to pick somebody, but it's a little too early to know that TCU is going to even be good enough to be a live championship team, and it's probably too early to know that they're going to blow it in the end. And I mean, this team could possibly still win the conference. Colorado was not a conference loss.
Again, that was a foot race, shooting match that went all the way down to the very end of the game. So I don't know. I'm not really completely lost on TCU just yet until I see both teams play the schedule out, because that was a fun game to watch. So I'm not gonna lie.
All right, number 6, the Baylor Bears, who went down to Texas State on Saturday.
Not Texas A&M, not Texas, not Texas Christian, Texas State.
The Bobcats.
They're just like Ohio. They're the Bobcats too.
That's right.
I didn't know they had Bobcats in Texas. I guess
I don't think they did. They just got carried away.
No, I think Bobcat. Isn't Bobcats? Isn't that like a all over the country kind of thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You mean by Bobcat? You mean cats missing tails?
Well, I mean no, like Bobcat that lives out in the forest there.
Yeah.
Bobcats look like a domesticated cat, but just a little bigger, right?
Yeah, a little bigger, and they'll eat your arm off.
Yeah, you don't want to hug. You don't want to pet one.
No, you can't actually.
But you can.
Well, not like a wild bobcat, and I like go out in the woods and go, "Hey, kitty, come here." No, none of that. You'll get your whole.
But you know, some truck truckers done it before.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you got that. What was the guy that went out there and with the bears, Grillis or whatever? The guy out there playing with the bears and rolling around with them didn't eventually get eaten by a bear.
Oh, Grizzly man.
Steve Irwin, the old Gator guy down there in Australia.
Yeah, he got a stingray. Yeah.
That's why I stay the fuck out of the river. I stay the fuck out of the ocean. I stay the fuck out of the woods.
That's how Dane's going to go, isn't it?
There ain't no bobcats at my house. None.
Dane's going to go just like this.
Probably.
He'll be the cocaine bear,
He is the cocaine bear.
All right, number 5, Arkansas State. Bujo makes a return onto the top 10. Probably, I don't know how many times he's been here, but it's been a bunch.
Look. Was he really expected to do much at Arkansas State? 7-8 wins. I mean, that's all they need down there. That is a rebuilding gig. Always has been. Like that's your Colorado State. That's the Colorado State.
They didn't show up. They didn't show up for this game. I mean, I know Oklahoma. It couldn't have improved that much.
Oklahoma. Wait a minute! Breaking news: Oklahoma just scored another touchdown.
Yeah. No, Oregon's the one that they laid it on somebody. I don't remember who.
Oh yeah,
they scored over 80.
Not no, it wasn't Oregon State. Who was it? It was one of those state teams. That's kind of
Portland,
like
Portland State, I believe.
Portland State
Yeah.
University, Portland State Community College.
All right.
That's
So we all know what happened to Arkansas State.
Is Bo Nix still there? And he's still balling for Oregon?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. This is last year. This is like his 8th year in college or something. It feels like.
Damn.
Feels like we've been talking about Bo Nix way too much on the show over the years.
Number 4, Texas Tech Raiders, who went down to Wyoming on Saturday, 5-33. I don't know what the expectations were here, but it really rubbed some voters the wrong way. So they've got them up here. I don't think Texas Tech will win enough games to be in the top 10. They won't be eligible by week 7. They'll be out.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I don't really, because Wyoming has actually fielded some pretty decent teams. Of course, they help me. Who was the good quarterback that they had there for a minute?
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Who?
Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Yeah, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, what the fuck's Texas Tech gonna do?
Yeah,
really,
no doubt.
All
Wyoming is a good team, so I think one team didn't have any expectations, and the other one's underrated. So
and again, we're talking about a loss by a few points. I mean, yeah, okay, Arkansas State, I'll give you that. Of course, I don't think anybody really expected Arkansas State to do much of anything either. We're getting off track here. Well, Doug,
Okay, so
who's next? Let's get us back on track.
the quality of loss here probably saved this team from hitting number 1, and that's the Florida Gators, who went down at Utah last Thursday night.
Yeah, I think Billy Napier finally exposed himself once and for all. With the Billy Napier that we thought Billy Napier was, even though he's a great guy and everybody's been high on him and he talks great on camera, yada yada, this, that, and the other. But Florida hired him to get themselves out of what he's put them in right now. This is all Florida all the time. This has been for quite some time now. And it's really, really hard to watch. I'm, being a big fan of Spurrier, not really so much a fan of Urban Meyer.
All right, and a shout out to Utah and Sky Anastation. And I want to say that I did invite Sky onto the show on Sunday, and I forgot to hit him up, and he was madder than fuck.
He was madder than fuck, and we need to bring him back on. And if he'll come back on, he's pretty upset about it.
Yeah, he really steamed his clowns.
Did he? Is he going to sue us?
No, he didn't hit me up either. So it's like, I think he's been invited on the show.
If he sues us, though, you were the one that was supposed to hit him up. So I don't think I should be a part of that lawsuit. I'm just throwing that out there.
So he's been invited on the show probably 5 times, and he has shown up maybe 1 time, and most of the time he doesn't. I never hear from him again.
He's a little bit of afraid of me.
At one point, I really thought about going ahead and hitting him right before the show. I thought, well, Dane will probably show up as soon as I do that. We'll end up with this guy in the middle of Dane. And
you remember when Sky stole the group from Mike Gibbs?
I do.
And then I went ahead and erased the group while he was asleep. So and he agreed to come back on. He agreed to come on the show after that too. I mean that was.
He didn't give a shit. He just stole it. He stole the group, and easy come, easy go, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, and he was kind of surprisingly chill about it because, again, that was some fun. I had some fun that evening. Sean Devine helped me with that.
Yeah, and Teddy Shecklesworth took your blueprint and took it into another group and did the same fucking thing.
Tried.
They caught him, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
All right, number 2. The Clemson Tigers. This team originally in the first ballots actually was in the top 10.
And this was before they actually played the game.
No, this was not. Well, this was 3 people changing their ballots to raise them up.
Yeah, but if everybody went and changed their ballot at the same time, Clemson would easily be number 1.
They would be number 1.
That was a pathetic. Oh my God, that was so pathetic. That was the worst Clemson performance we've seen in quite some time. Since when did they get blanked in the playoffs, Doug? What was that?
Did they get blanked?
Yeah, or it was like something pretty close to it.
Oh, Alabama beat them 24-6, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Alabama, wasn't it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. my guess is that
I'm thinking about Ohio State. That's what I'm thinking.
Next week, you're going to see more people jumping and kicking Clemson for missing them this week. Dane will not be one of those.
No,
in my opinion. All right, and we're at the number one team for this week, week 1, and that's the LSU Tigers. Yep.
Which is my number 2. Because I'm not, and this is my reasoning. I discussed this earlier with you in the chat. Here we had Clemson, a preseason ACC champion, a preseason, very definitely, almost positively going to be in the playoffs now that we've expanded the playoffs to allow, such shitty conferences as the ACC into this thing. Okay. So now, well, an undefeated or a 1-loss, ACC champion into this thing.
I want to make a correction. Sean Devine also changed his ballot. Now, let's look at these changed ballots real quick. Now, Alex Bryan, I don't know if he had Clemson in his top 10 on his first ballot, but his changed ballot had Clemson at number 1. So Alex did his part.
Well, because again, Alex probably expected, just like everybody else, that they were going to cruise through the game with Duke.
All right, so Sean Devine, he changed his too. I don't know if he had Clemson in his first ballot, but in his second ballot, he had Clemson at number 2. Still kept LSU at number 1. And my guess is that
we know why.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have to. We're not going to say it on air, but we know why.
You can't blame him. No, there's more to it than that.
The reason
he don't like their fucking coach. He don't like their coach either. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he absolutely detests their fan base.
All right, so Dane did not change his. Dane had LSU at number 1. Jerry Looney changed his, and he don't know where Clemson was in his first ballot. I'd have to pull that up, and it's not worth it to me. Clemson at number 2 on Jerry Looney's revised ballot. LSU still at number 1. So Jerry is definitely one of the reasons that Clemson didn't climb to number 1.
Yeah, whatever.
Kyle made a revisement, and I don't think he had Clemson in his first ballot, but he did move Clemson into the top 10 and moved him to number 3.
Because again, nobody expected that Clemson was going to just completely lay down against Duke going into this game. So, again, why put them on the ballot if you don't think that they're going to lose and they're going to be, starting week 2 or 3 or wherever week we are at.
Where was Clemson? Where was Clemson in the AP before they lost?
Oh, yeah.
Like 8 or 9.
Yeah, top 10.
So, and LSU was higher than that, wasn't it?
5.
They were, but and again, Mike, and that's I didn't finish my argument because LSU is in the SEC West, which is no doubt about it, no debate about it, the toughest conference in all of college football. And they have to run through Alabama. They have to run through now a new, suddenly improved Auburn. Auburn looked halfway decent the other day. Hugh Breeze has got the offense clicking like he wants to. We also have Ole Miss, which is always a dark horse in the SEC West and can cause disruptions. We don't know what Texas A&M is yet. Jimbo Fisher better start winning some games this year.
Shannon, are you disappointed in the overall activity of these ballots this week?
A little bit, because there's some teams that have no business being here whatsoever. Arkansas State was pitiful, but they have. I mean, what was Arkansas State really going to do? Were they going to show up in the playoffs this year?
Yeah, I think that was just a Bujo plug.
Yeah,
it was
hey, I have no problem with it. Again, this is week 1. This is still shaping up, and we know that as the season progresses, there are how many teams are in the NCAA Division 1 now? What is it, 128 or something?
Too damn many. I think it's over 130.
And all of those teams, every single one of them can suddenly come up out of nowhere. Cincinnati has proven this.
So Shannon,
are defending national champions, the UCF, whatever the fuck they are, Golden Knights. They can just come up out of nowhere and take this thing over at the end of the season.
I thought they were the White Knights.
Who cares about
So Shannon, do you feel like this committee needs some help? Because you haven't voted in this poll since the first year, I think.
Well, and again, because I'm the host, and I feel funny, I have so much other important things that I add to the show.
Do you me add you in, and you need to come in and say, look, you motherfuckers don't know what you're doing. Dr. Balls is the only one that can foresee what
I really think that Dr. Balls needs to hold this clinic, because he is right out of the gate picked Clemson as number one, and Clemson is number one. Look, it happens. The pollsters get it wrong sometimes. Sometimes Ohio State doesn't get to play for the championship, and that's okay.
It's okay with everybody except for Alex.
That's right.
All right, guys. I don't know what's on the horizon, but I'm sure it'll be entertaining next week. And Shannon will still not be voting in the Live 10. He flat out turned it down.
Because he had the veto.
I'm not going to say that I turned it down. I'm going to consider it. I need to talk to my agent about it, see if there's any more money involved, because I'm really not getting paid enough as it is.
Here is our Live 10 voters for 2023. Alex Bryan, Kyle Golick, Clemson Dane, Dr. Balls, Jerry Looney, Jamie Gibson, and Sean Devine. Take a moment to appreciate the unwavering effort they give to bring you the most prestigious top 10 list in college football.